Here we go. Hey everybody. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this at first. Uh, Emotional last few days or just like a, you know, um, titled this, It's Okay to Be Human because we tend to forget. Can't even form whether to be human. That this isn't working. Let's try something different. The education system really did fail. Really did. But fine. I mean, how it is. Yeah. Just gotta. Yeah. Do the best you can, and because we can't even form whether to be guys, right? Explain how the heck talk about my mother's. Yeah, yeah, she passed away in 2010. It's kind of a big piece missing, like loneliness, and then in such a lonely world right now. It's not really hard to make connections to really people. Um, so I just threw that out, and I usually just and I'm not really looking to be really close with anyone. I need to focus and sit with this. It's just I really need to just be able to focus and have pain. And this is what it is. I have to go through it, and that's just plain and simple. So it's okay to be human. It's okay if people let you down, or and it's okay for people, or it's okay if they don't connect. You just keep it moving. Don't look back. So, and at this point, I can't, because I have a purpose. I truly believe we all do. Some tap into it, some don't. It's not self-serving. It's not of the flesh. It's not really one that you chose out as a hobby. It's more like something that that you were put here to do. So maybe that's why. Mm. And plus, I don't really think that, I don't know. Yeah. But anywho, so that's what's going on out there. So it's okay to be human. Um, please be. But then again, is it? Because these days, we're really seeing the better side of humanity. Everybody can get this started. Okay, that can't be held accountable. Everybody's responsible for their behavior or their lack of something, but everybody has a part in this world of what we can be doing better as people, as human beings. First of all, I'm telling you this right now, lacking empathy in it, that is pathetic. I use your critical thinking, well, empathy. Now just go black about if they, I mean, it's got to be here. First of all, you can't it. Now it's just going on. If people coming to the nation news, we can't really have conversation because whatever is here on the news, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, you get your information stuff. Really, we can't put our heads together because oh, critical thinking is a real thing. Well, a real thing. Granted that it was removed from the education system, U.S. education system. This is a fact. And the fact that people don't do their homework and they just listen to people in the news, like they can tell you something completely different tomorrow, and you be ranting out here about that too. Like, I don't understand. When is somebody ever going to pick up a book or look into something them damn selves? I mean, what the hell is going on here? I don't know. My head hurt. But anywho, critical thinking. What's that mean? Yep. Damn near means you got to pay for it these days. Nothing's free anymore. Not even common sense. But I want to focus in on that today. You know why? Because right now, empathy is needed. Without it, you get nowhere. If you think you can, clearly, there's more losses I thought than I thought. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what's working and not working. Look around. This chaos, mayhem, it's crazy on the universe. All these major disasters. And he got people over hooting about everybody, go get your vaccine, go do this, go do that. I'm gonna need you guys to be the hell quiet because you're not a doctor. You just listen to the news. So sit down and stop putting yourself in positions that you have no business putting yourself in. Yes, I said it. I'll say it again. Sit down. There's things that are going on in this world, and things take place, and they happen for a reason because humanity sucks. They fail. We fail. It's falling apart. And the audacity to point fingers at anywhere else but your damn selves. We all got to point fingers at ourselves and hold ourselves accountable because at some point you got to take responsibility for the fact that you've been holding on to some ignorant or that you just gullible and believe anything you hear. Let's see what else. That a lot of people lack in care of what other people are going through. I'm going to give you an example, and we're gonna talk about some stuff today because it's just despicable how we as a people can sit here and go on about these things right here, but then see this whole other thing that just happened that rings a very loud alarm where questions should be like, what the hell? And yet nothing. So let's go there. All right. So, this vaccine thing, right? This whole pandemic thing, all that stuff. So many people lost their lives, and then so many people turned into doctors all of a sudden because they watched the news. I didn't know that's all it took. I'd have been a doctor. Man, here's where we're going to go with this. Because I've been hearing this a lot. So, first of all, you get nowhere when you attack people verbally, mentally, or whatever. That's how we learned that in elementary. Apparently not. Um, Second of all, I call it receipts, facts. If you have none, take a seat. The other thing, I think it's very dangerous for people to try to get people to do things that they chose to do at their own risk. Like, I really respect people's choices. I would never tell somebody to go out and do something just because I did. Because I don't want to, I don't want to be responsible, or you don't want to be responsible for something that you don't know what could have happened to that person. You know what I mean? Think about that. Think before you talk. Think before you speak. But when you make a choice for yourself, because these are choices. So I don't respect anybody that really makes choices for themselves and then goes around and condemns everybody else because they didn't do it, because they did it and they feel like it's the best thing. I don't respect you, because that clearly tells me that you're one of those people that if nobody agrees with you, then everybody's over there. You're kicked out. No one respects choice on here. But then we run around talking about it's my choice, it's my choice. It's just pathetic to me that that's how we roll here in this country. My choice. I get it. And then, but it's okay, your choice. But they didn't pick my choice, so they suck. Now we got to go and team up, group, do that group bullying that they do. You know, that groups thinks. You know, it's like this whole little system that happens here, but nobody sees it. I do. Been saw it, been seen it. It's so obvious. It's like watching a really pathetic scene over and over again. You know, it's the same shit, different day. You know, but okay, let's carry on. So that right there, is first most to me, because I can't do the hypocrite thing. Like I'm just, why would I listen to you when you can't even respect someone's choice? And when you let the media run you, yeah, what's that about? But be the same people that can't handle it when something doesn't go their way or it's their agenda. Because I promise you, this happens over and over again. It just flips side to side to side, and the behavior is the same. This is the thing. If you don't want it done to you or treated a certain way, then you must not do it to others. That's how that works. But that doesn't work like that here. You feel a certain way about something here, and you're like all for it and stuff like that, and boohoo to you. And then when it turns in a whole nother disaster situation, it's not working out for you, and you're on the other end, and then you're like, now, you know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. It's never going to work, and you're the problem. That's why we're so divided, because people can't stop and see when is enough. We're right here in this place. Did you see all those babies' bodies they dug up the other day, all these days? See all of them? Like how many? I can't even tell you how many, because I mean, I'm still just in awe that they were here and that was happening. And people are still just saying the same shit about these vaccines. They're not even affecting them. If you have the vaccine, then chill, yo. Right? You're good, right? Are you? Because if you're not, then take a several seats and pay attention, because lives here are very much under attack. And by you going around being used as a puppet to go attack everybody else that didn't do what you did, there's real shit going on over here. And I'm assuming that whatever you've been told, you've seen it too. You've been in the hospitals and all that stuff, because that's not everybody's story. So all I'm saying here is, to each his own. It's one thing, because this is horrific already in itself, what's going on the last almost 2 years. So with that being said, there's no one that should be sitting here finding and taking any reason to attack one another, to criticize, shame one another. Even people that are attacking vaccinated people and trying to scare them and call them stupid, and they're gonna die in a few years and all this and this and that. I mean, that delivery is whack. And that's what I'm talking about. So either way it goes, vaccinated on non-vaccinated, non-vaccinated, unvaccinated, it's a poor display of human behavior towards one another. I just wanted to tell you that, and you're welcome. So how about we find a different way, because we're supposed to be adults, and the majority of people have children. So I'm just like baffled that this is how you act, and you have children. I mean, I thought we covered the problem solving area like in grade elementary to be able to problem solve and come to agreements. Like, what happened to that? It's weird. Huh. And how does this help too? Like when we do these things, and because it's always something, and it's always the same behavior. Let me give you another story. Just can't make this stuff up, I tell you. So, so there's this. So I remember. I think he's an actor too. Guy, right? I remember some of the rules when Donald was right, almost on his way out. How he remember those trumpets. He kept calling them trumpets hard on Donald Trump. Mad hard, right? Right, like people were like not something where, but there's things called boundaries. But this is the kicker for me. So we all know what happened for the most part. Biden is the president, right? So we know what happened. Um, Clearly, that made his world even better, supposedly, because people can't. Anywho, I tell you. So he I saw him broadcasting himself watching one of those channels again. They call it the news or something, or the propaganda. The what do they call that? What do they call it? I mean, he was in it like as if he was mesmerized, and he was just like, "Oh, yeah, I believe it." He just held on to every bit of anything that they were saying. So I clearly saw that working with here. I said, "Oh, this is what you do. You're one of those. That's where you get all the info." That grandiose TV is just giving you everything you need to know. You don't have to look up anything, do you? Or even use critical thinking. Good times, good days. So anywho, he carried on, and then his audience was like, and then oh yeah, and then uh they were all for it. They were like with it. They were like, yeah, look, buddy, it was giving me the same vibes as they were, and they was criticizing Donald Trump and his followers. It's like the same behavior. It's like, move over so we can kiss his butt. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, when is it gonna ever be a mindset of an individual thinking for themselves versus like being fed bullshit? Like people seek, please tell me stuff, tell me anything, lie to me, tell me. How about you sit down and think, use your thinking for a minute here? If it don't sound right, something's wrong, something's weird, something's off. I don't think that means that this is the answer. I think it can use some questioning. Teach his own. Just care about life. That's all. So, as I'm watching this pathetic display, here comes Fauci. One more person sit up and act like they haven't seen what's been going on, and the flip flop. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't want things to do. You damn near need to because I guess if not, you got to think for yourself, or you have to like actually do something, or it's going to ruin that that pretend world you're living in, and that everything was a lie. I don't know. Tell me. I'm just saying. Make it make sense. So anywho, so when he sees Dr. Right, he said, "Yeah, you see what he gave it to that guy? The little incident there, like, ooh, it doesn't take away the fact that crap that hello, you know." But then they were like, "Man, I love that. He's the best. Oh, he's this, he's that." Just like goo goo gaga and all that stuff. And I'm looking like, When? What did he do? I don't know. You don't give me trust vibes. My spidey senses is on point. But okay, each his own. Then after that, look, if something's so real, so true, I can't leave out the truth. So if it's leaving out truth, it's like, why are we just gonna keep acting like I don't know? It's got to be in the food. It is though. It is. I'm gonna leave that for another cast though. Totally, totally. And that's what's confusing me about this is that people. It's like, okay, so we got this going on here, and this is gonna fix everything. How about you tell us healthy ways to stay healthy? Huh? How about you stop serving up that poisonous food? And yet here we are. Food's just not isn't just the way it is just because it's the way it is. You have to pay close attention to people's intentions and what they're not saying, what they are saying. It's not dropping any knowledge on how to stay safe and healthy and what to do to keep a body healthy. Yeah, suspicious. But so when the guys when he was doing that, as he was just like awing over these guys, just these men once again, humans, like huh, trust in man, huh? And what have we always seen? And so yeah, here we are. And some of these people claim they're Christian, so make that make sense. Just saying. Um, so my thoughts was after I saw this was like, isn't this the same way you were downing when Trump was in office with his supporters? Because now you're shouting at the TV, calling people anti-vax and all this stuff and these little names and stuff. So I don't really see much difference. So at this point, you would know better. No better. Same behavior, same thing. I was just like, wow, that's crazy. And then just calling people anti-vaxxer. And it states I'm on point when about this because the reason why that word came out of his mouth, that just came out of the reporter news. So now he's repeating it. And they keep saying, repeat something over and over long enough, people start to believe it. Suckers. But then again, it's also a technique. But do better. Know what you're working with. And then these things won't keep dumbing down society. These words that they use that no one seems to just let it right over their heads. Yeah. So that right there really was like really, dude. Because this is the thing, you don't have to, and I'm pretty sure they weren't acting. That's who they are. But when you can't really go around judging people, but you're not that much different. The only difference was to one set of people were going with Trump, and the other set they know what the hell they're probably going to do, so they had to take what they had. So I noticed that. And okay, let's move along here into the next part. The whole anti-vaxxer thing. There's anti-vaxxers out there, right? Am I saying it right? Yes, they are, right? Right. And there's also people that their whole lives in their beliefs and religion and all that stuff, they don't do vaccines, right? Okay. And then there's those people that know of the history and have the history of being medically fucked, medically screwed. You know, the Tuskegee experiment rings a bell. And for anyone that tries to dismiss that, you got your nerves. So for Black people, because even other Black people will try to gaslight or, you know what I mean, like jump on that train too, because not a lot of times they like to impress others or they're bought into the drinking the Kool-Aid, or they're just ignorant as hell, or they just don't care. That's just in general. But the thing is, that was very relevant, because if you didn't think so, then tell that to the families. Oh, can't, huh? It's insensitive, unempathetic, damn near inhumane to disregard that when dealing with melanin people, because that's only one incident of so many other things that have been done. But if you don't have that education, that knowledge, then you need to go ahead and be quiet, or open your mouth and ask somebody. And this is how I see it. People just jump on the train because they're used to following the leader, that nobody's free thinker, nobody's independent thinker. These are facts, because this is where we are. This is how it's always been. They get you all worked up together, and then it's always something. Oh, it's this now. It's like, wait, what's happening? What are we doing here? That's when I was like, no one ever can just chill and really at odds. Stop pointing the finger at each other and point at yourself. For the simple fact, you're not helping when you do that. Ask yourself before you say anything, am I bringing anything to this? Is any solutions, or am I just adding to the chaos just because I can? If you're not bringing any value, if you're not truly trying to help or educate, then please go sit down, because you're part of the problem. Ranting and stuff, but no solutions ever. Just all this. Just, it's pathetic. It's so disrespectful from all sides. I don't care who you are, where you sit, what position you have. Shit stinks too. Not that great. So disrespectful to throw all these things around and offer people things like, look, we're trying to give you a gift card, we're doing this, we're doing that. And just saying that people aren't doing it is ignorant, rude, disrespectful, because no one's bothered to ask anybody why they aren't doing it. See how people just do and don't think? Have you ever thought to ask anybody why they chose not to, or what their decision is? Because if you opened your mouth to speak on it, then you might as well have. So I'm pretty sure 90% of people didn't. I might as well say 100, because if you did, then you would have humbled yourself and said, oh, didn't know that. That's some people, Black and brown people, experience the history, and even today, you know, my mom didn't die because it was inevitable, or it was more because of the screwed up system we have, the screwed up healthcare system, all of that stuff. Don't nobody care about anybody unless it affects them personally. And that's a fact. Because half of people out here going nuts on each other don't even care about those people that didn't get vaccinated. So then if you don't care about them, why are you talking to them? Why are you addressing them? Is it affecting you? Did you get your vaccine today? Like they asked you, told you to, or asked you to? Then go take a seat and leave everybody else alone. Because remember, choice. Yeah. And then on top of the choice, that was some people's choices to make for themselves, just like you made your choice for yourself. So how dare you try to inflict yours on others, because you can't control your your voices that come to you from the television. Get it together and humanize yourself and go talk to a human and figure out and talk to one another and come to a place. And if you truly were trying to help, then you would probably know what the hell you were talking about. And you can probably give somebody some information to think about, but you can't because you don't even know why. And you're the last person that should be talking. So if this applies to that person, then you're welcome. Because it's really hard to sit by and just see people just be so ignorant. We have children. What they supposed to do? We need to be doing a whole lot better. There's no way in heck that this should be where our mindset is. Stay away from the TV. How about that? Okay? Focus on your families and focus on your children because if you pay close attention, there's some shit going on here. And our children need us. Raise your families. If this didn't make people want to embrace and love their family and respect people more, then I don't know what to say about the civilization of humanity because it's not looking too good. And if you thought it was, then what planet are you on? Because there's nothing good going on here. But I wanted to say that because I respect both parties. I respect the vaccinators. I respect the non-vaccinators because it's your choice and you had your reasons. You have to respect that because you can't tell somebody you don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to affect them. So I think it's really just careless, very careless to speak on that with other people. It's rude. It's so it's just disrespectful, and it just shows a lack of what's the word? Some manners. Tell people business and think about it. Are you helping the situation? If you're not, then guess what? We don't need you. If you are helping the situation, if you're trying to, then good. But if you're just doing that, what the same repetitive behavior, because 1 minute it's the mask, and next minute that if you're on that train, don't nobody want your help. The only people that want your help is the media. And because you'll go out there and just mess with people and just do the whole that bullying thing, the mind thing that y'all do, instead of trying to understand one another. Because when a lot of people found out about all the stuff, you know what I mean? If you did homework, yeah, who cares about the trials and the stuff, medically that Black people are still and been up against. They're like, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, you're probably too busy just doing what Americans do. Yeah. See, this is the thing for me. This whole American pride and stuff, I just it can just be shoved. You know why? Because at the end of the day, we're human. We're human beings. Rip that apart. Just leave that out. Because it's like people can't. They don't know who they are. Like they're nothing to themselves unless they have something to like these false narratives to hold on to, instead of just being human beings. It's always something, and it's time. It needs to change because there's no excuse for the behavior. It's just shows and we are back here in 2021. When it comes to this racism stuff, I'm like, oh my goodness, people believe anything. You believe anything. You hear something on the news and they're like, oh, well, Black people hate Asian people. Because you heard when some incidents that supposedly, people seen, and all of a sudden now, when have people really known Black people just going around hating people? I'll wait. So let's like really wake up here and let's be better human beings, because we're all human beings. Doesn't matter what race, shade, color, whatever, we're all human beings. We can agree to that, right? Okay. Right, right. Um, Now, we have the embedded we are in college and then versus trying to really for ourselves, one another, do better for. It's that we always concerned about things that really affect you. Like someone else's lifestyle, try and do all these things about God agree. That's true. You don't. You don't have to agree at all. Can nobody make you? Because that'd be stupid, right? Now that would be stupid. You don't have to agree with somebody's ways or lifestyle. You don't even have to like them. People just have to get it together. You're always going to be liked. Move along. Move along. You can't get them all. Okay. It's you don't have to like. You don't have to like anybody, right? Okay. But when people start becoming vile and violent and doing all this evil things because of you don't like something people are doing, what the hell does that do with you? If you don't support it, if you're not down with it, and you don't want it, and then watch it come down to people sometimes dying because of it. That's when it becomes a problem. It's one thing to not support and you know not be with it, but it's another thing when you're disrespectful and you're violent and hate speech and all that stuff. That's when it becomes a problem. And it sounds like it's more of a problem or whatever's going on with people that do that than the people that they're trying to reflect on. Figure it out. Human beings need to just all figure it out. There's so much going on. There's so much needs to be said that the time when there's a whole series, okay? I feel like that we got a series going on here, y'all. That's what's happening because it needs to be addressed. I'm not here to appease people. I'm not here to be on some because people are always like clicked up and stuff. You gotta be about this, you gotta be about that. You ain't talking about I gotta be about nothing but what the hell I want to be about. I don't fall in line with anything just because I look a certain way or it's expected of me. I mean, miss me with that. I do my own thinking and I do it how I want to do it. I'm not following no trend. I'm not going to follow somebody because they're black. I'm not going to do this because I'm not doing that. Like I said, I have my own mind, a thinker. People that think that way, look around. You do the results. So, yeah, I tell people pay close attention to how media, social media, and all that is. It says follow, like, never talks about love yourself, like yourself. Always talks about wanting to do or be like somebody else. And voila, here we are. So I say to humanity today, we're gonna start acting like human beings. When are we gonna stop saying we don't want racism, but can't help but just keep talking about it and being in it? This whole racism thing, and I teach. I've been out of teaching, physically since COVID popped off. Like when it's the first time it started shutting school down and stuff, right? Um, So I'm gonna go ahead and that shit was already gone. Already was out the window. Okay, it was already out the window. I wasn't teaching it at my school. I was even thinking about, I was like, what's going on here? How come it's a black school? Like, make it make sense. So, and then on top of that, I was thinking like when they brought up removing it and all that stuff and talking about, all of that weird stuff, the malarkey that you can't believe that come out of somebody's mouth and how they got the position they got. Yeah, that stuff. So, yikes. Um, so the thoughts were, okay, good. You weren't teaching us right anyway. Like, good, good, good. That's good that you finally, you know what I mean? Like, who made them credible to be taught to put history in books and talk about it and make the comment anyway? You lied. You lied about a lot of it. So therefore, I mean, nobody wants to get their education from be fed lies. How you gonna get a better education within the system that is the system that fed the bull crap, that molds us into who they want us to be? Yeah, factory workers and employees. That was planned. That's what that was embedded in us from school, beginning all the way up until whenever. These are facts. Go to school, I tell you that much. That goes on. Did actually against she so when they're wanting something different and then actually do something different. And all I'm saying is we need to see change and growth. We need to make a better place. And if we can't do that, then what are we doing this for? Or if we fail, we don't fail. I'm trying because go up. These things around the world are happening. So if you just step out of your own little world for like a minute and realize that it's bigger than us, it's bigger than the things that we think it is, and start giving one another some, some kindness, some empathy, support. You know what I mean? Some name, messing with handicapped people and life grow up. Because doing as others of the hand, we got to do better by our children because children are a product of the environment or who they're raised, or how they're raised. And if you want your child to have the best chance in this world and be successful, the lies can't, you're not doing them any justice by lying because they will be prepared for, you know what I mean, the world, the society, how it is, and understanding and knowing how to shift and move. If you know what I mean? So it needs to be talked about, taught. But as I'm talking now, I'm talking to the parents. You are the first teacher. Pay close attention. And he, God bless. And I just wanted to come on here and just do a little fighting for humanity. That's all. So until next time, whenever that is, I don't know. I can't really say. I don't know. It'll be soon. Sorry. Okay. Had to fix that. Say properly. Have a good night. Not to say goodbye. Good night. Properly. Everybody have to be kind. have empathy, just be kind. And if the world did that more often, I bet you we see some results. So, peace out.